Hi everyone. So I decided to do an experimental art project. While walking, I gathered a fern from the side of the road and I decided to do a piece using the materials I found from the fern, also including some paint supplies. And so far we have this. And it looks like scattered grass right now, but what I did is I used white paint as a base, and then I took the leaves from the fern and I scattered them throughout the picture. And I used the stems, I braided them into these little corner pieces at the end, and you'll notice some yellow dots. What I'm doing is I'm taking the actual stem and the paint, and I dip the tiny end of the stem into the paint, so there's a nice good amount of paint on there, and then I'm dabbing the paint onto the paper. Obviously, if you want bigger drops, you have to get pretty decent amount of paint on there so that it'll really show through. So I'm going to do this. I have 5 colors total, and I'm just mixing it in between the patches of green, just little pieces here and there. Yeah. And you can use whatever colors you want for this. Make this your own little masterpiece. If you want some bigger dots, I take the bulky end of the stem, get a lot of paint, get it all around the edge, so you get a lot of paint on the end, and you just stamp it on there. For those of us early 2000 kids, you'll remember when stamps were all the rage, and just buy a bunch of packs of stamps and you just stamp it on the paper. Little stamps here and there. Just spreading some color, mixing the red in with the yellow. Now we've got all our little dots on there. This next part you can have a lot of fun with. If you have it, take a fan brush, get a lot of paint on it. Make sure you got plenty of paint, and then you just spatter it on there. Just spatter it on there. You're going to get a lot on your hands, but it's okay, because is it really art if we're not getting a little messy, having a little fun with it? Yeah, just get it nice and spattered all throughout there. One thing I love about the spattering technique is that you can really use it to get into little places that you might not want to take paint, especially when you have all these little leaves and details like what I'm working with today. If you use too much paint, then you take away from the aesthetic of it, but if you use a little splatter technique, it's not so crowded at the end of the day. And you can do as many colors as you want. You can do however much you like. This is your picture, and if you want a bunch of pink, or you want a bunch of blue, or you want to use a bunch of indigo, go with it. Me personally, I am a huge fan of warm colors with a touch of cool colors. Yeah, just make sure you get a nice scattering, because you don't want to leave any of the spaces alone and by themselves. So the last color, here we go. A little bit of warm orange to go with it. There we go. Let's see.